Have you ever felt like you're hitting a wall? Like every step forward is met with 10 steps back? The world throws curveballs, a project fails, a relationship ends, self-doubt creeps in, and you feel stuck, buried under the weight of it all. What if I told you that every single one of those setbacks, every obstacle, every moment of despair, isn't a dead end? What if it's actually a secret doorway to your greatest potential? This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a powerful ancient philosophy that has guided emperors, artists, and leaders through their darkest times. Today, we are diving deep into the Stoic blueprint for turning adversity into your most powerful engine for growth. This isn't about simply gritting your teeth and enduring pain. This is about learning to see every challenge not as a barrier, but as raw material, as fuel, to forge an unstoppable you. By the end of this video, you won't just look at problems the same way again. You'll start looking for them. Let's start with a foundational idea from the great Stoic emperor, Marcus Aurelius. He wrote in his private journal, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that for a second. What stands in the way becomes the way. It's a radical shift in perspective. Most of us see an obstacle and we think, oh no, a roadblock. I have to go around it. Or maybe I should just turn back. The Stoic sees the same obstacle and thinks, aha, here's my path. This is the very thing I need to overcome to become stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Imagine a weightlifter in a gym. They don't avoid the heavy weights. They actively seek them out. Why? Because they understand that the resistance, the very thing that makes the lift difficult, is what builds muscle. The obstacle is the opportunity. Your personal and professional challenges are your weights. The difficult conversation you've been avoiding, that's an opportunity to practice courage and communication. The creative block you're facing, that's a chance to explore new methods and push your boundaries. The criticism you received, that's a gift of feedback to refine your work. The obstacle is not in the way. It is the way. So, how do we actually do this? It starts with a concept the Stoics called the dichotomy of control. It's incredibly simple but profoundly life-changing. It boils down to this. In any situation, some things are within our control, and some things are not. What's not in our control? Other people's opinions, the economy, the weather, whether someone cuts you off in traffic. Getting upset about these things is, as the Stoics would say, a form of self-inflicted madness. It's like getting angry at a rock for being a rock. It achieves nothing and only disturbs your own peace. What is in our control? Our thoughts, our judgments, our responses, our actions. This is where our true power lies. When faced with a setback, instead of focusing on the external event you can't change, you must immediately shift your focus to what you can control, your response. Let's say you get fired from your job. You can't control your boss's decision. Wasting energy on anger or resentment is pointless. But you can control how you frame it. Is this a devastating end, or is it an unexpected opportunity to find a career that truly aligns with your passions? You can control your actions. Will you spend the next month binge-watching shows, or will you update your resume, learn a new skill, and start networking? By focusing your energy exclusively on what you can control, you take back your power from the chaos of the world. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your response. This leads us to the next powerful Stoic tool, the art of perception. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, famously said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." This is a game changer. The event itself is neutral. It's just a fact. Losing a competition is a fact. Receiving a rejection letter is a fact. The suffering, the pain, the frustration that comes from the story we tell ourselves about that fact. We add a layer of judgment. Losing this competition means I'm a failure. This rejection means I'm not good enough. The Stoics teach us to strip away these subjective, often negative judgments, and see the event for what it is. This practice is sometimes called objective representation. When you feel that rush of anger, anxiety, or despair, pause. Ask yourself, what actually happened here? Describe it as if you were a neutral, unbiased reporter. I presented an idea, and the team decided to go in a different direction. That's the fact. Compare that to the judgment. My idea was rejected. They all think I'm an idiot. I'll never get a promotion. See the difference? One is an observation, the other is a self-inflicted wound. By practicing this, you create a space between the event and your reaction. In that space lies your freedom to choose a more constructive, empowering response. You can choose to see the team's decision not as a personal attack, but as an opportunity to understand a different perspective or to refine your idea for the next time. Your perception is your superpower. Change your perception, and you change your reality. Now, let's get even more proactive. The Stoics didn't just wait for adversity to strike. They prepared for it. One of their most famous exercises is called premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. This isn't about being a pessimist or dwelling on negativity. It's a strategic visualization of what could go wrong. Before starting a major project, you might take a few minutes to think, what are the potential obstacles? Our key partner might pull out. The technology might fail. We might go over budget. By contemplating these possibilities in advance, you do two things. First, you strip them of their power to shock and paralyze you. If something does go wrong, your reaction won't be, "Oh no, I can't believe this is happening." It will be, "Okay, I considered this might happen. What's the plan?" You've already done the emotional heavy lifting. Second, it allows you to prepare. If you anticipate a partner might pull out, you can start building relationships with backup partners. If you fear a tech failure, you can create contingency plans. It's like a fire drill for life. You practice for the emergency so that when it happens, you can act calmly and effectively instead of panicking. This practice turns anxiety about the future into preparation and strategic action. You're no longer fearing the unknown, you're mapping it out. But what about the inner obstacles? The crippling self-doubt, the fear of failure, the voice in your head that says you're not good enough? These can be even more formidable than any external barrier. The Stoics had a strategy for this too. They viewed virtue, particularly courage, wisdom, and self-discipline, as the ultimate good. They understood that every challenge, especially the internal ones, was an opportunity to practice these virtues. When you feel fear, that's not a sign to retreat. It's a call to practice courage. When you feel confused and uncertain, that's a call to practice wisdom and seek clarity. When you feel lazy and unmotivated, that's a call to practice discipline. Think of it like this. Your character is a muscle. It only grows when it's tested. Self-doubt isn't a sign of weakness. It's an invitation to prove yourself wrong through action. Procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's a chance to build the muscle of discipline, one small task at a time. The inner struggle is the training ground for developing an unshakable character. Every time you face down that inner critic and take action anyway, you are forging a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. You are turning internal friction into forward momentum. Let's tie this all together. The Stoic blueprint for turning adversity into fuel isn't a single trick. It's a complete operating system for your mind. It begins with a fundamental belief that the obstacle is the way. You then apply the dichotomy of control, focusing all your energy on what you can influence, your own thoughts and actions. You master your perceptions, stripping away negative judgments to see events objectively. You proactively prepare for future challenges with premeditatio malorum, turning anxiety into strategy, and you view every internal and external struggle as a chance to forge your character and practice virtue. This is how you transform. This is how you stop being pushed around by life and start using its force to propel you forward. Setbacks are no longer setbacks, they are setups for a comeback. Failures are no longer failures, they are lessons in disguise. And fear is no longer a stop sign, it's a green light to grow. Start small. The next time you face a minor frustration, a traffic jam, a critical email, a moment of self-doubt, don't just react. Pause. Ask yourself, what's in my control here? What's the objective fact versus my judgment? How can I use this to practice patience, resilience, or courage? This is not just a philosophy to think about, it is a philosophy to live. It is a daily practice. And through this practice, you will discover that the forces you thought were holding you back are the very forces that can launch you to heights you never thought possible. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into Stoic resilience. If this sparked something in you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building an unstoppable mindset. And I want to hear from you in the comments. What S1 obstacle you are facing right now, and how can you reframe it as an opportunity? Let's learn from each other. Remember, what stands in the way becomes the way. Now go out there and find your way. Thanks for watching.